Okay, so welcome to part one of pickleball and bike rack wisdom. It only seems like those two things don't go together, but they do. And they fit into DreamWeaving because all of those actually have the same main concepts that go into play. So I played pickleball this morning, and that is such a fun game. I played and I got my butt kicked. I mean, it was notable. And I got in the car. One of the people playing said, "Hey, how's life treating you?" And I didn't know what to say at the moment, but when I got in the car, I looked at my bike rack and I was reminded of one of my patients, and I smiled. I smiled all the way home. Let me tell you a short story about this patient and how it relates to pickleball. One of my patients, she woke up one morning and she'd been having some unusual and unknown health problems. Her doctors were trying to help her. They'd never seen anything like what was happening, not only in her imaging exams, but also in the way that she was recovering. They'd just never seen anything like it. One morning she wakes up, she felt sharp pains. They moved up her legs, through her abdomen, in her chest, up her neck. She could feel the sharp pains moving through her body and get lodged in her brain. Then she started slurring her speech. She got really weak. She couldn't move her right arm. She couldn't swallow, and she could barely speak. I mean, she was just whispering because her wife was actually going to take her to an acupuncture point. They were going to go together. Well, this fiery woman said, "Take me to acupuncture." She said, "Yes, honey, please still take me to acupuncture. Maybe they can help." They go to acupuncture. Of course, they get lost along the way because her wife is panicking. Of course she is. Someone she loves might die right next to her. She'd seen this happen before, but it still doesn't make it any easier. They get there. Staff come out with a wheelchair. They wheel her in. They call 911. Now, the reason they didn't call, my patient and her wife did not call 911 in the first place, is because my patient was not responding well to meds. And what are they going to do in a hospital but give you meds and tests? Well, the paramedics came. They did the EKG. Her blood pressure shot up to 156 over 121. And at that time, it was pretty mellow. It was 90 over 70. It was way too low, and nobody really understood why. But to go from 90 over 70 to 156 over 121, people knew something wasn't quite right. The paramedic said, "You need to go to the hospital." Eventually she agreed and went by ambulance to the hospital. She goes in, refused all meds, refused all IVs. Who does this? Seriously, who does this? Someone who truly believes in what she was doing. And she also knew she could not, she just couldn't take it. Western meds were making her worse for some reason. Nobody knew why. To make a long story, and a very interesting story short, this patient of mine walked out of the hospital on her own. She was released. She didn't just walk out. She was released. And how did she do that? What happened while she was in there? To be wheeled in on a gurney and walk out on her own with her wife and her wife's sister. Her sister was visiting. What a way to visit. She applied the same principles to healing as I applied to pickleball. That's why I laughed about the bike rack. I'll talk about that in another post. She was present in her moment. She was present in the moment. She was aware of not only herself, but her surroundings. When you're playing pickleball, you need to be pretty present so you can play well. You need to be aware not only of yourself, but of your partner, your teammate. Never argue with your partner. Keep the peace. You're having fun with your opponents and even with the other people in the other courts. You want to be courteous. You want to be courteous. You want to be gracious. You want to, whether you win or lose, you do your best and you have fun. Somehow this woman managed to have fun. She changed her mindset in the midst of a very shocking and traumatic event. She changed it from PTSD to post-traumatic growth. It's really remarkable. And because of her, DreamWeaving is what it is. Her blood, sweat, tears, her hope, and her courage solidified the recommendations and suggestions in DreamWeaving. And she did it kind of with that, with the bike rack wisdom. Maybe we'll call it bike rack wisdom. That's not what we called it. I'll tell you what we called it another day. When I tell you the rest of the story. Okay? Thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate your support. And please hit like and subscribe. Stay tuned for Holographic Tattoo Part 1. It's my first book. I'm really excited. And my patient's story is in the book. All right, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Be well.